Hey there folks, welcome to this video, and here I'm going to be talking about motorsports, more generally about motorsports, though I might touch on bits about the automotive industry at some points. I'm going to be talking about Covid-19, also known as coronavirus, and before I get into talk about this, I know this video can come across as sensationalist. I know it can be seen as like kind of jumping on a bandwagon or trying to be clickbaity, and I want to apologise if you're thinking I'm doing any of that in advance. This is more kind of an opinion piece. It's going to be talking not necessarily about Covid-19. It's going to be talking about motorsport. It's going to be talking about the effects that something like this can have on motorsport. And a lot more of what I'm going to be focusing on is Formula 1. Though it is worth pointing out how MotoGP has been affected with the season opener in Qatar, which is supposed to happen over the weekend, only running Moto 2 and Moto 3 categories, and the second race in Thailand being cancelled. Well, the main things to look at when talking about the effects that Covid-19 is having on motorsports is how different host countries are behaving. So it's not necessarily going to be an issue of we're trying to contain the spread, or races going to these places are going to increase the spread of it. It's how different governments want to respond. So right now, one of the big debates to do with Formula 1 is individual policies on countries that need further screening. So this is particularly something that's affecting potentially Bahrain and Vietnam. It's less likely to affect the European races, though I would say, speaking as a Brit, it could affect the British Grand Prix further down the line. And it's the way in which Italy's being treated. Now, this was the reason why the Qatar MotoGP race has been affected as well. Lots of countries are saying that if you're travelling from Italy, you're going to be placed into the kind of 14-day waiting time. This affected the F2 and F3 tests last few days. I think it was last week as well. And it's, affected MotoGP. So it could be that this would have an effect on something like Formula 1. I'm thinking, for example, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, and Alfa Romeo, who all to some degree have got Italian staff who are from the northern regions of Italy, because, for example, a lot of the motor industry from Italy has historically been from the north of Italy. So that can be a problem. At the same time, just more generally, it depends on how governments are reacting to large gatherings as a kind of preventative measure. The Geneva Motor Show, for example, was cancelled due to the Swiss government bringing in a law saying that gatherings of more than 1,000 people weren't allowed to happen. And again, if the situation in Britain goes past its current stage in terms of its Covid-19 response plan, that could affect the British Grand Prix. It could also affect the London E-Prix, which is supposed to be, I believe, the season finale for Formula E this season. But yeah, that's talking a bit further down the line. It's more likely to affect people travelling around the world, global series, and that will be the main problem with it. I'd be interested to see down the line what happens to the WRC in regards to the final round in Japan, and especially in regards to how things like the Olympics are going to be carried out this year in the summer. So there are a few question marks for certain. All I'd say is right now, don't make as much of a big deal about it as the media wants to sensationalize. I'm somebody who has actually been out traveling during the spread of COVID-19, and I didn't go to Italy, I flew over Italy, but I did stay within Europe, not the European Union, alas, but within Europe. And, well, I haven't been diagnosed with it yet. So, I know that's a weird kind of anecdotal thing to go with, but this is very much just a harsher mutation of the common cold, as SARS was. So be mindful that a lot of this is quite sensationalist. The reason why they don't want to spread it is because we don't exactly have the, let's say, cure for it. Right now, a lot of it is relying on natural immunization, which comes from it being, well, the common cold. We haven't got a specific COVID-19 cure that's readily accessible for everybody yet. So right now they want to contain it and stop it from massively spreading. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you've gone through the whole video. If you did enjoy what I was saying, and not necessarily agreed, make sure that the like button really helps me out. If you want to hear more kind of motorsport content or sim racing content, make sure to hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified of any videos or streams the moment they happen, hit the bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.